There's been this very important person in my life. Her name was Karina. It was on a freezing New Year's Eve many years ago. We stood on top of a hill watching the colorful dance of fireworks all around us. And in this very moment, we swore that we'll stick together forever. And so we did. We grew older together. I remember lying in a bird's nest swing on the playground together, spending hours talking about what our futures would look like. We formed a two-person motorbike gang. Then we sold the motorbikes and learned how to drive cars. We ended up in different cities. I went abroad and she stayed. We lost track of each other for a while. I came back and we reunited. On one day, she decided that she didn't want to be in this world anymore, so she left. It was a warm day in June last year when I received the call. Her boyfriend's voice was trembling when he told me to sit down. I didn't understand what he was telling me. I wanted to call Karina and ask what the hell was going on, but I couldn't. With the same disbelief, I stood in front of her grave during the funeral. It was a beautiful day. The early summer sun warmed my black dress, and it felt as if she was hugging me for one last time. Ever since the funeral, I continued living my life. I was surprised that I could. It made me feel incredibly guilty. I felt like I would get shamed for not being miserable anymore. I felt like an emotional misfit. For a long time, I didn't allow myself to grieve in my own way. I thought that there was a right way of dealing with loss, and that I was doing it all wrong. I went to the places where we used to have picnics and long talks about life. I laid down where we used to put our blankets and watch how the wind traveled through the crowns of the trees. I remembered how much those moments meant to me, and I started smiling. I knew I'd never share that view over the hills with Karina again. I could say that felt devastating, but it didn't. I felt happy. It filled me with joy, thinking about how many laughs we shared at that place. It reminded me of how she lit her cigarette on the wrong end and then ended up spilling orange juice all over her pants. Thinking about her doesn't make me feel terrible. Eventually, I realized that nobody has to understand or share my feelings to make them valid. I don't want to pretend to be sad when I hear her name anymore. I love talking about her and celebrating our memories together.